backbone of our economy, the gateways of our sovereignty, and the pillars of our republic. Every transaction that does not include the people, for the people, undermines them and is an affront to our history. Look at the facts. Safaricom, our national crown jewel, had 15% of its shares sold at a fraction of its true value. Kenya Pipeline, the lifeline of our energy sector, is also facing the same threat. JKIA, our gateway to the world, has been compromised in management decisions favoring profit over national security. And KCB, a pillar of financial system, has been manipulated to benefit a few insiders. This is not economic reform. This is international neocolonialism, a quiet auctioning of our sovereignty. Fellow Kenyans, the courts have intervened on Safaricom, on KPC, on JKIA, and we have just received good news that the court orders have been issued against the opaque US Kenya health deal that was signed recently without any public participation. But the intention by this nefarious regime was clear: a systematic, step-by-step erosion of our sovereignty. This is neocolonialism by insiders, a form of recolonization disguised as policy, defended with silence and apathy. We cannot allow or entertain this. Sovereignty is not symbolic. It's a sacred and constitutional duty. From the peaks of Mount Kenya to the shores of Lamu, from Lake Victoria to the plains of Narok, every Kenyan has a stake. The Republic is ours, and we will defend it with courage, with unity, and with vigilance. Every pipeline sold, every share disposed, every asset compromised is a betrayal of the generations who fought for our freedom. We call on every citizen, every institution, every civil society organization, and every community to rise up. Protect our pipelines, our airports, our companies, our financial institutions, and demand accountability. Defend our sovereignty. Let no one mistake silence for consent. We must defend our assets, our minerals, like the gold in Migori, and Kakamega, and Busia, that are now under invasion, to restore dignity and reclaim our republic. More significant, we must defend our multi-party democracy that is now under existential threat from this rogue regime. We witnessed in the recently concluded shambolic 27th November 2025 by-elections that the chairman of IEBC, and I was very surprised on Monday, I think the 8th, listening to Chairman Ethekon saying that elections cannot be stolen in Kenya. It's an impossibility. Is he a stranger in Jerusalem? This position has already been contradicted by very credible observers who participated in these by-elections, including the Kenya National Human Rights Commission. We heard from them. The indictment was harsh in terms of how IEBC failed to conduct these elections properly. We have also heard from ELOG. They also returned a very harsh verdict, and both have said, and many others, that including the Law Society of Kenya, and we must thank them for this, that the just concluded by-elections were not free and fair. They were heavily rigged in favor of state-sponsored candidates, and they were tainted by violence, mostly from goons, state-sponsored goons, and backed by the police, intimidation, and corruption. We are demanding immediate action against perpetrators of these electoral offenses, like in the case of Wamalwa, and I think we have our candidate here, the Honorable Panyako here, who underwent serious terror in terms of violence by goons and state-sponsored gangs. There were leaders who are known, who led the goons, who participated in organizing, in financing these goons, and the violence that was visited, particularly in Malava and in Bere. These two were the hottest targets of this system because of the political implications that would confirm a win in Bere for the United Opposition, that the mountain is gone. A win in Western for the United Opposition, that Western is out of the reach of this regime. We are demanding that those who participated, including leaders like Nabina Bwera, the MP for Lugari, And we did issue a statement on the eve of that by-election with my brother Kalonzo Musyoka and Rigiji. We warned that the gangs were being unleashed, and in Malava, Nabina Bwera was going to lead the goons. And we were on the ground with Honorable Panyako. We saw Nabina Bwera leading these goons. We saw Stanley Livondo leading the goons. We saw former CS Sports, Rashid Echesa leading the goons. We saw Esther Muhanda, Women Rep Kakamega, distributing relief food, mattresses, blankets. All these are documented, and PSs, Beatrice Nyangala and others. These are people who are known. Reports have been made of IEBC to the police. What we are demanding is action, that all these leaders be held to account. And IEBC has the powers to call off an election because of violence. Where there were deaths, like in Kaspul, 2 people died. In Chwele, 1 person died. Many were maimed, vehicles burned. They had the powers to call off this election, but they did nothing. They have the powers to actually suspend anyone who participated in this perpetration of violence, including barring them in participating in future elections, and barring them, recommending them being barred from holding public office in future. This is how we are going to tame these ugly scourge of violence in our elections. Because under Article 81, where there is violence, we cannot say there's been free and fair election in the face of intimidation and corruption. So we are demanding that that action be taken. And we are also, as we had announced before, looking at taking action against the chairman himself and the CEO, Marjan. The United Opposition therefore pledges that national assets belong to the people. They will never be sold without the consent of the people of Kenya, including Safaricom. Sovereignty and constitutional rule are not negotiable. This is what our forefathers fought for. This is why we're celebrating